Breaking news, a juvenile was stabbed and killed overnight in Escondido. What police are telling us.
The timing of it is also very political.
Taking action on the border crisis, we're breaking down the executive order that President Biden is expected to sign today.
He was shouting, "I've been bitten by a shark."
What's happening today at a Del Mar beach after a shark bit a swimmer?
Steve, you're being detained. You're not free to leave. Steve, you're not free to leave.
A brand new lawsuit amid a crackdown on beach yoga classes. It's 6 a.m. Tuesday, June 4th, and you're up with CBS 8.
Thank you so much for joining us here at 6 a.m. on this Tuesday. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Neda Irampour, and we're going to start off with your forecast. Things might be warming up later this week, Evan.
Yes, encouraging signs of summer on the way for us. We have temperatures warming up this afternoon already, but along the coast, we're not seeing all that dramatic of a climb. Marine layer is still going to be present with us daily, but we're finally going to start to see this ridge of high pressure building overhead, and that ridge is going to help to warm our temperatures up across the county. Over the next 12 hours, we're still holding on to that marine layer. Temperatures should reach the upper 60s, maybe even the low 70s by this afternoon, and partial sunshine into that afternoon stretch. And here it is, the first one of the year, an excessive heat warning for San Diego County, only applying to our deserts, moving off toward Imperial County. More on that warm-up coming up.
Evan, thank you so much. And now we have breaking news to bring to you here. A minor is dead after being stabbed in Escondido. This happened just before 8 last night.
We just got some details from the police department overnight here. They say officers found this person in the 2700 block of Wannock Road. We don't know his age. Police only described him as a juvenile. Police say there was a group fighting in the middle of the street, but everyone was gone when they arrived. No arrests have been made. You're asked to call police if you know anything.
And now, today, President Joe Biden expected to announce an executive order to try to curb illegal immigration.
The president's sweeping order would effectively shut down the U.S.-Mexico border to asylum seekers crossing illegally when a certain number is met. CBS 8's Chris Groh is live in San Ysidro with more on the president's plans to tackle the immigration crisis. Chris.
And that number is 2,500. That was what the daily average would need to be in any given week for this action to take place. That, according to the very latest reporting that has come out on this. Remember, this executive order hasn't been signed yet, so we don't know all of the details right now. But 2,500, that's the key number. It's a number that, again, would indicate that if this were to be in place right now, we would already see the border shut down for asylum seekers, because we're somewhere around 3,000 to 3,500 on a daily average. Now, according to the Associated Press, the only way that would reopen is if that number falls back down to 1,500 or less. However, that's according to 2 of the 5 anonymous White House sources they spoke to about a not yet published executive order. Now, this, of course, comes at a time when the presidential race is heating up between President Joe Biden and the presumptive nominee on the Republican side, former President Donald Trump. President Biden has been criticized for his handling of the border crisis. But we also saw Congress earlier this year shoot down a bipartisan border bill after former President Donald Trump publicly denounced it. Now, we are hearing from immigration attorneys in a number of border and Southwest cities talking not only about the legality of this, but also questions that they still have, like this Houston attorney who says there still needs some more answers to be put out there.
There's going to be a daily quota of how many people can come to the U.S. border, knock on the door, and say, I want to ask for asylum. It's yet to be seen how really this executive order will be implemented once the border shuts down. What are the steps and the details of how they're going to control the crowd once they shut down the border?
Now, as far as the ACLU is concerned, they say that they still have to review this before they make a final decision on whether or not they believe that this is unconstitutional or violates any type of immigration laws. And as for the ceremony that's expected to take place for the signing, various border town mayors will be there. Mayor Todd Gloria was invited, however, could not attend because of a scheduling conflict. Eric and Netta.
Chris, thank you. Coming up here in just a few minutes, what experts say could happen with immigration and U.S.-Mexico relations as Mexico elects its first woman president. Opening statements are underway right now in the federal firearms trial of Hunter Biden. They started just moments ago at 6 a.m. This is the first criminal trial for a child of a sitting U.S. president. President Biden's son is accused of lying on federal gun purchase forms when he said he wasn't a drug addict. He has pleaded not guilty and says he's being unfairly targeted by the Justice Department. Hunter faces up to 25 years in prison if he's convicted.
And now this morning, the beach in Del Mar expected to reopen after a man was bit by a shark. Lifeguards say the 46-year-old man made it through surgery and is now in the intensive care unit, expected to survive his injuries. We spoke with the first person to reach the man who was bitten on Sunday, and he said the man was conscious and stayed remarkably calm.
There's a lot of great whites in the San Diego waters, and they're not out to get us. I mean, this evidenced by this one here, it didn't eat him, right? It took one bite and it left.
So no matter what precautions people take, incidents will happen. But just like when you go in the woods and you know there's bears, knowing the proper procedures can help you stay safe.
And you may be asking, what are those procedures? Well, according to the Shark Lab experts, they include avoiding the water at dawn or dusk and try to calmly leave the water if you see a shark. This morning, there's a new lawsuit to keep outdoor yoga classes available on public park spaces. This lawsuit, filed yesterday against the city of San Diego, claims it is unconstitutional to ban yoga classes on public beaches and parks. The city recently updated its municipal code prohibiting hosting outdoor classes of 4 or more people without a permit as part of a wider crackdown on vendors. One of the plaintiffs was just detained and cited for holding class.
We're assembled and engaging in free expression. You're walking up here.
I'll be honest with you, I probably could have handled it a little bit better, but when you're violating people's rights, you know, it's people are going to get a little bit emotional.
And that was Nama Steve, who you just heard from. We reached out to the city for comment on this new lawsuit, and we are still awaiting a response.
This morning, Major League Baseball is investigating a Padres player over gambling accusations. 24-year-old infielder Tucupita Marcano is accused of betting on baseball. These bets allegedly happened last year when Marcano was on the Pittsburgh Pirates, but he was injured. The punishment for betting on your own team is a lifetime ban. The Padres selected Marcano off waivers during the offseason, but he has not yet played for the Padres this year, still injured. In another sports gambling scandal, Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani's interpreter is set to plead guilty this morning. Ippei Mizuhara is accused of stealing almost $17 million from Ohtani to pay off gambling debts. He agreed to plead guilty to bank fraud and filing a false income tax return. Mizuhara could face 30 years in prison.
Today, South Bay leaders demanding the state to declare a state of emergency due to the ongoing sewage crisis. So they're demanding the CDC to investigate this and assist them in monitoring and assessing residents' health. Right now, urgent care doctors in Imperial Beach are seeing a spike in patients with gastrointestinal illnesses because of how much sewage is in the water. Today, county supervisors will also discuss getting air purifiers for people who are dealing with that bad smell.
Right now, San Diego County is opening cool zones ahead of the summer heat. Evan's been saying things are going to start to heat up here. Even with June gloom, afternoons are rapidly warming up. Some parts of the county could see summer-like temperatures this week. Free cool zones include the county's library branches as well as community centers. We have a list of locations at CBS8.com. Just click on the Help button. When you start talking about cool zones, you know that summer's pretty much here. I mean, if you ask the kids who are out of school, a lot of them this week,
Thursday at 12:15.
they're like,
Yeah, exactly.
That may not
They're
be
like,
the meteorological
I don't care
summer,
what
but
the temperatures are at that point.
Right.
I'm out of school.
Yeah.
No, but it is going to feel like it. Thursday,
Okay.
Friday are our 2 hottest days of the week. Temperatures are going to be, in some cases, near record territory off toward our San Diego County deserts. But that's specific to the deserts. Today, along the coast, inland, and across the mountains, we're going to start to see some changes. But the farther east you are, the more dramatic that is going to be felt. So excessive heat warning in play across the deserts takes effect at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, continues through 9 p.m. on Friday. Along the coastline, that marine layer is still very much present. When we zoom out, you can see how much the southwestern U.S. is covered in the pink and orange there. That is either a heat advisory in the pink or an excessive heat warning in the, heat advisory in the orange, excessive heat warning in the pink. When we look at your temperatures out the door right now, it's pretty mild. Low 60s along the coastline, upper 50s as you move inland. These temperatures are pretty uniform, symptomatic of high clouds that are with us. So we now, today, don't only have the marine layer present. We have the marine layer present, and then we also have some high clouds that you see kind of filtering on through. So that's the marine layer close to the coastline, spreading inland, and you can kind of separate and differentiate the two. Otherwise, though, we're still working with a good amount of cloud cover throughout the morning into the afternoon. That's when we'll start to see those clouds break apart. We'll get partial sunshine this afternoon. And what we're really going to notice is that many of our eastern valleys are going to start to see that warm up today with a lot of 80s in play versus the coastline that stays almost identical to where we were yesterday. Otay Mountain shows facing east some of those mid and high level clouds, but not as much of that marine layer. That's because the marine layer, while it's present along the coast and inland, not quite present close to the mountains. So it's a little more shallow this morning, but now we've added in the high clouds. So, you know, pick your poison. Sunrise was at 5:41, so we're about 30 minutes out from that sunrise. Sunset is coming at 7:54. Remember, our day length is still extending for another couple weeks. We get near that 8 p.m. sunset. Let's check in on traffic. No major crashes or collisions on our roads as we start off your Tuesday morning. Very quiet out there, so you can head to our website, cbs8.com/traffic, to give you the latest. Let's check in on your border wait times this morning. 80-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry right now, about an hour 20 in total. Otay Mesa is just about 5 minutes longer. You're at 85 minutes, so an hour 25 in total across the Otay Mesa Port of Entry. Back to you.
Evan, thank you for that. Still ahead here, a tense hearing on the COVID pandemic.
Do you agree that there was a push to downplay the lab leak theory?
Not on my part.
Really?
Really?
What else lawmakers said as they grilled Dr. Anthony Fauci. Plus, what experts think will happen to U.S.-Mexico relations as Mexico elects its first woman president.